Good morning, dear students. Here I am, your IT teacher, Prabhati Thakur. So today we are moving forward to the next session, and the next chapter is the chapter 4, Principle of Effective Communication. So in this chapter we will learn about the 7 C's of Principle of Effective Communication. Okay. So what is effective communication and why we need it? Effective communication is the communication between two or more people in which the intended message is successfully delivered, received, and understood. So, as you all know, that the communication is very important in our society to interact with each other and share our emotions and feeling with others. Okay. So, as it is, effective communication is important because the sender sent whatever the message, receiver received the message in kinds of ways. It's good or not, or satisfied or not. Okay, so here, principle of effective communication. One factor that sets humans apart from other species in our ability to exchange information fast, efficiently, and over potential long distance. So, as you all know, that humans have the specialty to communicate, okay, in various languages. Most of the communication we do in our everyday lives is quite successful. We know how to modify our behavior and vary our approach if we see we are not getting the desired response to our messages. Okay, every time we want to communicate something, we should consider two important elements: the target audience and the goal. Okay, remember that in a effective communication, we have to remember these two elements. The first one is target audience, means the receivers, okay, the people who are receiving our message, and the goal. Goal, that simple means of the motto of the communication, okay, the reason of the communication, why we are communicating. Okay, the next is 7 C's of effective communication. So the first is completeness of the message. So as you all know, the name, the completeness, okay, the message must be complete and cared to the receiver's perceptions. The message must be based on facts. Further, a complex message should provide additional information and or explanation. A good subdivision of subjects will clarify the message, as result of which there will be a complete comparison of what is said. So completeness of message is simple meaning we have to complete our communication in our message. Okay, सो ऑफ कोर्स ये इम्पॉर्टेंट है, जो भी सेंटेंसेस हम बोल रहे हैं या जो भी हम कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, जो हमने बोला है वो प्रॉपर कंप्लीट होना चाहिए. ओके, सो द फर्स्ट principle of effective communication is completeness of the message. Okay students, so here we are coming to the next principle, that is concentrateness or coherence. So what is it? Concentrate and coherent message are easier to understand and are reliable. Such messages are often supported by factual material such as research data and figures. So concentrate and coherence. Why is concentrate and coherence important? Because in communication we have to modify it in a proper way with concentrations. Okay, concentration and coherence important क्यों होता है स्टूडेंट्स? क्योंकि कॉन्सेंट्रेट किया हुआ मैसेज एक प्रॉपर वे में मॉडिफाई होता है. और कोरियंस इज अ सिंपल मीनिंग ऑफ रिसीवर्स desire that we need to complete in our communication. Okay, that's why the communication became the effective. Okay, the next is courtesy to the receiver. In addition to considering the feelings and points of view of the target group, it is also important to approach the audience in a friendly and courteous manner. Effective communication should be termed as the show respect for the receiver. So courtesy to the receiver. Simple means of courtesy is जब भी हम आपस में कम्युनिकेट करते हैं, ओके, रिमेंबर दैट पॉइंट, तो हमें याद रखना चाहिए कि हम इस भाषा में बात करें या ऐसे वर्ड्स को यूज़ करें जो रिसीवर को क्या हो, अच्छे लगे और वो उसका मीनिंग समझे और उसके लिए क्या हो, फैमिलियर हो. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, जब भी आप कोई स्पीच डिलीवर करते हैं ऑन द स्टेज फॉर द ऑडियंस, तो आप उसमें अपनी लैंग्वेज का, वोकैबुलरी का एंड इनपुट्स का ध्यान रखते हैं. द नेक्स्ट वन इज़ करेक्टनेस ऑफ लैंग्वेज. Correctness of language. Always use a correct language while communicating with others. In written business, communication grammatical errors must be avoided. In written or verbal communication, you should not use the wrong use of verbs. By using correct language, one can gain the trust of the receiver. So as that simple, you need to correctness of language in communication. Okay, if your language are correct, easy to understand and grammatically correct, it is definitely affect the receiver and get the positive feedback. Okay, the next one is clarity of information. So that is a simple meaning that you need to be clear in your communication, that receivers received a clear message. Clear language is characterized by explicitness, short sentence and concentrate word. Okay, briefly worded information emphasize the essence of the message. It also helps to keep to the point as the receiver gets a clear picture of the content of the message. So clarity of information is the simple meaning we need to clear in our communication, in our message, what we want to give to the receivers. Okay, the next one is consideration for the target group. For effective communication, it is important that the message relates to the target group being addressed. The message can be developed by taking the audience into account. Factors that play a role in the professional knowledge level of education, age and interest. So कंसिडरेशन ऑफ टारगेट ग्रुप इज सिंपल मीनिंग, जब भी हम किसी से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं तो हमें याद रखना चाहिए कि हम किस लेवल से, लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन, एज और इंटरेस्ट से बात कर रहे हैं. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल, जब आप प्लेयर्स से बात कर रहे हैं, इफ़ यू आर रेफरी और द कोच, जब आप अपने प्लेयर्स से बात कर रहे हैं तो आपको अपना सब्जेक्ट एंड मैसेज क्लियर होना चाहिए. ठीक है, आपकी लैंग्वेज का जो लेवल होना चाहिए वो इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड होना चाहिए ग्रुप्स के अकॉर्डिंग. अगर आप, फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप अंडर 10 इयर्स के चिल्ड्रन से बात कर रहे हैं तो आपकी लैंग्वेज एंड आपका बॉडी लैंग्वेज, वे ऑफ टॉकिंग इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड होना चाहिए. द नेक्स्ट वन इज़ इफ़ यू आर टॉकिंग ओवर देन 20, सो आपकी लैंग्वेज उसके अकॉर्डिंग होना चाहिए. द नेक्स्ट वन इज़ consistency of the message. A message is clear when the storyline is consistent and when it does not contain any inconsistency. When mentioning facts, give consistent supporting information. Systematically implementing a certain statement notation also contributes to clear business communication. When statements are varied, they will only confuse the receiver. So consciousness of the message is simple meaning you need your message to be very clear. For example, if you are writing a essay or telling a essay to someone, you need to make sure that order is correct. First the introduction, that the causes and something like that. Okay, in a communication you need to start with a introduction all the time. Okay, then next the reasons and last at the conclusion. So this order is really important in our communication or in a message or writing. Okay, so these were the 7 C's of principle. Okay, once again let's quick revision for it. Here, 7 C's of effective communication. The first one is completeness of the message. Your message should be completed for the communication. The next one is correctness and coherence. Okay, your language and your message should be correct and coherent to the receivers or the people. Courtesy to the receivers. So you have to make sure your language is really fine and make courtesy to the receiver. The next one is correctness of language. Your language should be correct and easy to understand. The next one is clarity of information. In your communication, you have to clear your message, what you want to say. Okay, the next is consideration for the target group. You should consider your language, your words, your vocabulary to the target group. Okay, whom you are talking. Okay, you need to understand whom you are talking and which way you are talking. The next one is consciousness of the message. Okay, your message has consist many things, and you make sure your order is correct, your consciousness is correct. Okay, so memorize the all 7 C's of principle and complete the chapter. Okay students, good luck.